Global shock. Secret BTS rehearsal leaks. Are Yoongi, RM, Jimin, and Jungkook hiding a 2026 comeback? What if the biggest secret in K-pop was never meant to be discovered this early? What if the world just witnessed the first undeniable clue that BTS, after years of waiting, silence, enlistment, and global longing, is quietly preparing for a comeback that could rewrite music history in 2026? And what if the entire revelation came not from HYB, not from a press release, not from any official announcement, but from a single fan account post that detonated the internet overnight? That question has now taken over timelines worldwide, as the leak of BTS's private practice room photos has triggered a wave of global shock unlike anything the fandom has seen in years. The images, reportedly captured inside the iconic HYB dance studio, show Yoongi, RM, Jimin, and Jungkook practicing together, focused, relaxed, disarmed, and unmistakably in work mode. For members, one room, an atmosphere of intensity that feels too choreographed, too synchronized, too intentional to be dismissed as coincidence. The internet is demanding an answer. Why are 4 BTS members suddenly training together in secret? And if this isn't a comeback rehearsal, then what else could possibly explain it? The leak originated from the fan account at Seokjinbit, who posted the now viral set of images with a caption that instantly set the world on fire. Yoongi, Namjoon, Jimin, and Jungkook all practicing in their practice room shut the front fucking door. The language alone was explosive, emotional, raw, the kind of wording that signals a moment fans know is historic the second they hit tweet. Within minutes, the photos spread across the globe like wildfire, collecting tens of thousands of likes, reposts, and reactions from stunned and screaming armies who could barely believe what they were seeing. The photos reveal a room every BTS fan knows deeply, the polished wooden floor that has witnessed a decade of choreography evolution, the matte black walls that have echoed the rhythm of countless legendary rehearsals, and the familiar basketball hoop sitting quietly in the corner. A signature piece of BTS's practice environment. It is the very space where Butter, Fake Love, Black Swan, Fire, and Dionysus were born. The space where the group shaped performances that changed the trajectory of global pop culture. And now, in 2025, it becomes the center of the world again. Yoongi appears first in the frame, effortlessly cool in a black shirt with a baseball cap pulled low, holding his phone as if capturing either a reference video or a moment he never expected would leak. The sharpness of his newly dyed hair sent fans into meltdown. The detail is small, but in BTS history, a hairstyle change has rarely been meaningless. Namjoon stands tall and poised beside him, hands tucked in pockets, exuding a subtle leader-like calmness that fans instantly recognized as RM before something big. Jimin sits cross-legged on the floor, relaxed but with the unmistakable posture of someone mentally reviewing steps. Jungkook lounges beside him, hair messy, pose casual, expression unreadable but presence undeniable. For members, one room, one mystery. Why now? The post exploded instantly. Armies who were in class, at work, in meetings, watching TV, or even sleeping, jolted awake to hundreds of notifications. Some screamed, some cried, some froze. Some quit their tasks immediately and rushed online. One fan, at Nuts7ime, confessed, "I miss my workshop, but get a Yoongi update, life is worth to live." Another shouted, "My day is blessed." Someone else wrote, "Day just got better, hello Yoongi, I love you." The emotional spectrum was everywhere: joy, shock, panic, excitement, confusion, and above all, a deep, burning curiosity that the world has not felt since BTS announced their group hiatus years ago. For a fandom that has spent the past few years tracking military discharge dates like sacred countdowns, the leak feels like destiny. Yoongi has completed his service. RM has returned as a stronger leader. Jimin and Jungkook are back with renewed discipline and hunger. J-Hope and Jeon are resting after concerts. The timeline aligns too perfectly to be accidental, too dramatic to be coincidence. Fans immediately began zooming into every pixel of every photo, searching for clues: sweat marks, new outfits, speaker placements, choreography mirrors, the position of the basketball hoop, and whether shadows on the wall hinted at other unseen members. Some fans even swore they saw a figure resembling J-Hope beside Yoongi. "That one beside Yoongi looks kinda like Hoseok," wrote at junghoseoking7, sparking yet another wave of chaos. Suddenly, a simple set of 4 photos evolved into a global detective mission. Who else was in a room? Who took the picture? Why were they practicing early in the morning? Why would HYB remain dead silent? Was this a planned leak? Was it a mistake? Or was it something more intentional? Something designed to ignite the simmering fire of theories right before the official comeback announcement. In the midst of the frenzy, some fans expressed heartbreak at the absence of Jeon and J-Hope. "No Jeon in sight. Am I surprised? Not at all," wrote one fan, while another tried to calm the storm by explaining, "I think Jeon and Jope are light in practice, cause they are in good condition cause of the concerts, and they need rest, especially Jeon." Yet, these reactions only fueled more speculation. If 4 members are rehearsing, does that mean choreography is being built? If choreography is being built, does that mean a title track exists? If a title track exists, does that mean a comeback is already in pre-production? And that leads to the biggest question gripping the world right now. Is BTS preparing for a 2026 comeback? Rumors of a 2026 world tour have been circulating for months, whispers floating between fan cafes and international forums. Enthusiasts have dissected HYB's financial projections, scrutinized every trademark filing, translated obscure business reports, monitored studio producer movements, tracked choreographers' travel schedules, and even analyzed Bang Si-hyuk's interview tone checks. Everything pointed to something massive brewing behind the scenes. But never, until now, had fans received evidence this direct, this raw, this visually undeniable. The photos feel intimate, almost sacred, as if viewers were peeking into a moment not meant for public eyes. The casualness of the scene contrasts sharply with the global explosion that followed. It is the kind of leak that transforms speculation into certainty, dreams into expectation, theories into prophecy. The world is suddenly on edge, holding its breath, waiting for HYB's next move. Will they deny the rumors? Will they confirm them? Or will they stay silent, letting the suspense build until the comeback reveal breaks every record imaginable? The energy surrounding the leak is different from any previous rumor. This time, the atmosphere feels charged, heavy, remarkably emotional. After years of solo projects, military service, scattered schedules, and a heartbreaking hiatus, seeing Yoongi, RM, Jimin, and Jungkook in the same room has resurrected something deep within the fandom, a feeling armies thought they had forgotten how to feel. The feeling of anticipation, the feeling of unity, the feeling that BTS is coming back for real. News outlets across Korea, Japan, Europe, and America quickly picked up the story. Reporters began refreshing HYB's official channels every second. Analysts debated whether this was a marketing strategy or a genuine leak. Even non-fans paused to witness the unfolding chaos, drawn by the gravity of the moment. After all, BTS is not just a group. BTS is an era, a cultural force that has proven time and time again that their return is never just a comeback. It is a global reset. If these photos truly mark the beginning of BTS's 2026 era, then this moment will go down in music history as the spark that ignited a new revolution. Fans are now monitoring every detail. Is Yoongi's hair color symbolic? Why is RM smiling in the second photo? What is Jimin doing with his hands? Why does Jungkook look so calm? Is the basketball hoop hinting at something? Could this be the birth of a new concept? Why were the photos deleted minutes after being posted? Was the deletion part of the plan? Every question deepens the intrigue. Every theory adds fuel. Every second of silence from HYB intensifies the suspense. And so the world watches, breath held, scrolling endlessly, waiting for a sign, waiting for a teaser, waiting for a confirmation, waiting for BTS to step forward and reveal the truth behind the secret rehearsal that shook the planet. Until then, only one question matters. Was this leak an accident or the beginning of the most anticipated comeback in global music history? The chaos that followed the leak did not fade overnight. Instead, It grew with a force that felt almost unreal, like a global storm swirling around for photographs that should have been nothing more than a casual moment in a practice room. But this is BTS. Nothing involving them is ever casual, nothing is ever simple, and nothing ever stays small. Every detail becomes a clue, every shadow becomes a theory, every expression becomes a prophecy. And as the hours passed, a strange, electric tension began to form across social media, news outlets, fan forums, and even within the industry itself. Something bigger was coming, something undeniable, and everyone could feel it vibrating beneath the surface. By the second day, analysts began dissecting the timing of the leak. Why now? Why this week? Why this exact moment? So close to the beginning of the new year, so close to the rumored completion of military duties for all members. No matter how deeply fans dug into the timeline, everything pointed toward one possibility: a coordinated return. It was almost too perfect, almost too cinematic, like a real-world pre-release teaser disguised as an accident. Music journalists began questioning whether HYBE had quietly orchestrated the storm to test global reaction before making an official announcement. After all, BTS is known for deliberate timing. Nothing is ever random. Nothing is ever accidental. Could this leak be a soft launch? A pressure gauge to measure how explosive the public's excitement would be? Because if that was the goal, the mission was more than successful. The internet wasn't just buzzing, it was erupting. But what truly escalated the situation was not the photos themselves. It was the silence that followed. HYBE did not release any statement. Not even a denial. Not a clarification. Not a warning. Not even a vague, diplomatic no comment. Their stillness was louder than any press release. Fans knew the company well enough to understand one thing: HYBE only stays silent when something is real. They stay silent when something big is coming. They stay silent when the truth is too close to reveal but too important to lie about. Armies began refreshing the HYBE website every few minutes, desperate for an update. And then something strange happened. Something that sent a wave of suspicion surging across the global fandom. Several sections of HYBE's website underwent subtle changes. Blank placeholders appeared where schedules used to be, certain artist pages showed ongoing internal updates, and 2 staff accounts on LinkedIn quietly updated their roles to large-scale project support, artist group. It was vague, it was cryptic, but it was enough to set everyone on fire. What project? What group? Why now? Whispers inside the Korean entertainment industry added more fuel. Choreographers were spotted near HYBE's building late at night. Sound engineers posted cryptic emojis on Instagram. One producer, known for working on Blood, Sweat, and Tears, uploaded a photo of a mixing desk with the caption, "Final night before something crazy." Some fans swore they saw the number 7 reflected in the mixing lights. Others were convinced they heard Jungkook's voice faintly in the background. Whether it was imagination or genuine evidence, it didn't matter. The fandom believed it. And belief is the most powerful force BTS has ever commanded. The closer fans looked, the more the puzzle pieces came together. The more they searched, the more clues they uncovered. Every breadcrumb led to the same conclusion. BTS was preparing something monumental, something meticulously built, something designed in total secrecy. And the leaked photos were simply the spark. Even journalists who typically avoid speculation began writing cautious headlines hinting at a comeback. Television networks aired segments analyzing the body language of the 4 members in the leaked images. K-pop reporters interviewed stylists, asking if recent hair changes could be early comeback preparations. Analysts studied HYBE's stock performance, rising quickly and suspiciously after the leak. Everything pointed to movement. One Korean columnist described the situation perfectly. When BTS breathes, the world inhales. When BTS moves, the world shifts. When BTS disappears into a practice room, something historic always follows. And that is exactly how the leak felt: historic. Like the world was witnessing the first heartbeat of a new era, but perhaps the most powerful shift came from armies themselves. The fandom did not just observe the leak, they revived. The level of activity, creativity, chaos, and emotional intensity felt identical to the build-up to On, Dynamite, and Butter. Fan accounts surged back to life. Fan artists began drawing scenes inspired by the leaked photos. Editors started making trailers for a comeback that hadn't even been announced. Theories flooded TikTok, predicting everything from concept themes to album colors to comeback dates. Some believed the comeback would happen in mid-2026. Others insisted the photos indicated an earlier timeline, possibly as soon as April. A few went even further, predicting a surprise reunion performance at an award show. One viral post read, "They're not practicing for nothing. This is choreography prep. This is comeback energy. This is BTS coming back together." The comment gained over 200,000 likes within hours, but the emotional core of the chaos came from something deeper than speculation. It came from a kind of longing that had been quietly building inside the fandom for years. Ever since the announcement of the hiatus, fans had waited patiently, some for months, some for years, some through the entire duration of military service. They watched solo careers blossom. They supported each member individually. They stayed loyal through silence, absence, and distance. But deep down, they all shared the same dream: to see the 7 members together again, standing as one.